Alright guys, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. Welcome back to 390, and we have a special video today. I get a lot of questions about how do we start this plane. You know, I get a lot of questions like, how do you even turn this thing on? Where do you even start from? Alright, so today's gonna be a special tutorial about how we get this plane from cold and dark to ready for taxi. Cold and dark to ready for taxi. As you can see, there is no life in this plane right now. The tablets are not on, the screens are not on, nothing is on, and we're on the ground here in Bush in Houston, Bush Intercontinental Airport. So yeah, let's get it started. Okay, so whenever you hop into the cockpit, the very first thing you want to do is get access to external power. So we will click external power here, but before that we want to turn on our batteries. So battery 1 and battery 2 will turn on, and that, as you can see, some life has come into the cockpit. The next button we're going to be pressing is my favorite button. It's an exterior power button, and it's just gonna give a nice beautiful airburst clank sound that I really appreciate. In 3, 2, 1, and just like that, the airbus has come alive. The Airbus A320 has come alive, and we'll just wait for all these screens to turn on, and they'll be loading up and all of that. But let's go on with the tutorial. The next thing we're gonna do is head up to the top left section, and we're gonna turn these ADAS on. We're gonna set all of them to nav mode, so it goes 1, 3, and 2 in that order. So we turn on nav mode here, we turn on nav mode on here, and we turn on nav mode on here. We make sure we do not see any buttons lit up on this section. We just go all the way down, and we come and hit cruise supply. Cruise supply will turn on, and we will turn on ground control. Since we're on the ground, we want to make sure that ground control button is on as well. Okay, coming up to the middle side of the overhead panel, we'll leave these off for now. When we're ready for push, we'll turn them on. These are the fuel pumps, and we haven't even fueled up yet, so we'll leave them on. Let's keep going down. We'll leave everything on, and at this time I think let's go ahead and turn on the strobe lights. So the strobe lights, we'll set it to auto right here. We'll leave the beacon off. That is to turn on when we're ready for pushback. It's daytime, so we will leave the wing lights off. We'll set nav and logo on, and we'll leave these lights off. These are the taxi and landing lights. We're not ready for taxi and landing. We'll leave seat belts off for now because we haven't refueled yet. We'll set this on. We'll set these will arm these emergency lights. Perfect. Now the next thing I like to do is to turn on the APU switch and wait for about 3 seconds, and then we start the APU. Alright, so APU switch 1, 2, 3, and we start the APU. I hear the APU behind the plane spooling up. Okay, back into the cockpit. So in the Airbus FlyByWire, we have a tablet here. We'll turn that on, and most of the time our flight plan has already been put into the system. So we're flying from George Bush all the way to Monterey in Mexico. But let's go ahead and go to the third page right here, which is ground, and we will fill up our fuel. So we will import our fuel block from Simbrief, and today we are going to take 11,000 plus pounds of fuel. and we'll click this to fill our tanks. And as you can see, we now have 11,300 fuel, right? What I like to do at this time is to get the passengers on board. So we have a planned 143 passengers. So with cargo 7,000 and that's our fleet of 128,000. So we would click this button to begin boarding and loading of cargo. And I like to set it up for a fast time. I don't like real instant. I think the fast is the middle ground that I appreciate very much. So as it says, we're gonna begin boarding in 3, 2, 1. And what I like about the Airbus FlyByWire is you hear them coming in. You can hear little noises in the background. Okay, the next thing I like to do is to set our barrel, our QNH, and just by pressing the keyboard key B, we would instantly download our QNH for our present location. So B, and now our present QNH is going to be 2988, and that is what, as easy as that, and we move on. The next thing we're going to do is set up our MCDU, or MCDU as people like to say it. Now this is going to be for a separate video, so I might just time-lapse this section. Okay, thank you. Alright guys, I do appreciate all the love and support on the channel so lately. I just want you to drop in the comment section what you like best for this channel. Do you like the tutorials? Do you like the full videos? Do you like the takeoffs? Do you like the landings? Just leave a comment and then we'll take it from there. But don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, please. Let's continue with the tutorial. So we just finished setting up a flight plan and other essential stuff, but I would like to show you all this part. So we want to get our block fuel, the amount of fuel we'll be taking today, and you can find that right here at FOB. So that's 11,280 pounds. So we'll just take in 11.2 and key that into the computer. So 11.2 block fuel. And on the fly-by-wire, you can just click here twice and it's just gonna populate it for you, provided that you have finished boarding. That is, you gotta remember, you have to finish boarding the passengers. And as you can see over here, we have currently finished boarding. So only then can you double click the zero fuel weight and the zero fuel weight center of gravity, and then it automatically populates. Alright, and we go to the performance page. Now with the performance page, I use another software which we would talk about in a different video to help us get all these numbers for our V1 speeds, our VR speeds, our V2, our flaps 1, our flex to temp, all that good stuff. Alright, after doing our calculations, we have found that our flex to temp will be 74 degrees. Now this is just a temperature number for taking off with reduced thrusts. Now in the Airbus, I don't want to go into detail, but what I know is that in order to reduce engine wear and engine tear, you can put in some calculations of your wind direction, your wind speed, the temperature, the altitude, density, and all kinds of stuff to really tell the computer what is the best, least thrust power that can get us in the air with limited engine wear and engine stress. So that is what 74 stands for, and we'll put it there. Today we're going to be taking off with flaps 1 with a 0.6 down trim. So we'll put that, populate that in. And another feature of the fly-by-wire is I like to use the double click on the speeds. So when you double click V1, it's gonna populate. 130 is gonna be our V1 speed, and our V-rotate will be 131, and our V2 will be 125. Perfect. Okay, so we are done with the MCDU, as you call it, the MCDU setup, and let's go ahead and do other stuff. Alright, what I like to do next is to set up my altitude. So today, out of Houston, we do not have any controllers online, so I'm just gonna set my altitude cruise, my cruising altitude, which is flight level 360, 36,000 feet today. So we'll just set this up to 36,000 feet. Yes, and then we're gonna set our squawk code next, which will clear up. Our squawk code today is 25. And we'll set this to auto. Perfect. Let's turn this back to the arc position. I like to leave these at 20 nautical miles radius, and that'll be fine. Alright, it's time for pushback. So the next set of things we're gonna do is first turn off ground control, and we'll turn on our pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next we'll turn off our external power. We'll turn on our APU bleed and our beacon light.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross-check.
Thank you. So the next thing is we're gonna call GSX. GSX is a third-party app which we'll be using for our pushback service today. So prepare for pushback. Just choose any airline operator right now. Okay, we don't want to hear any announcements, so the next thing we'll do is lock the door. So I like to make sure that we haven't forgotten anything. Make sure there are no white marks on here. I think it's a good time to turn on our seatbelt signs. We'll turn that on. Make sure that everything is looking good. Alright, perfect.
A locator light on the shoulder will turn off automatically in water, and remember never leave the vest inside the aircraft. This Airbus A320 is the emergency exit. 2 doors to the front, 4 window exits over the wings, and 2 doors to the back.
Alright, so we'll be taking the left tail pushback, so nose right, tail left. Now the next thing we'll do is release our parking brakes for this right here. Now we have started a pushback, as you can see. We'll go down here and we'll set our engine mode selector, ignition start. So as you can see, we have moved it to ignition start, and we can go ahead and start engine number 2. And we can see it's physically spooling up, and we can see numbers going up here. Our N2 is increasing, our N1 is increasing. So we'll wait for this number to get to 20 or 19, I don't know, it sometimes varies. Everything's looking normal. We've been told to set our parking brakes, and we'll set it back on. At this time, we can go ahead and turn on engine number 1. So master switch, engine number 1 can come on at this time. The famous ETU sound you hear for Dove Rock comes on as the hydraulics find themselves in the right places. So you can see engine number 2 has come to 20, N1 has come to 20.3, and we'll do the same for engine number 1 as it spools up. And we can see the pushback truck has been disconnected. The pass pane has been removed. Wait for our engines to reach the right numbers. We can see we wait for 3 of these 3 waves, and we know we're cleared for taxi. with us, but we are not done just yet. So we've seen we've had a successful engine start on both engines. The numbers are looking good. So now we'll continue with other stuff. So the first thing I'd like to do is set our flap settings. So flap 1, we can see it right, and I'd like to engage the spoilers, which is right here. Engage the spoilers. We'll turn our engine mode selector back to normal, and we'll set our auto brake to max. Perfect. Let's turn on our weather system. Even though it doesn't work in the fly-by-wire, we'll still turn it on. Weather system on, and we can turn off our APU switch and our APU. At this moment, we can notify cabin as well that we are ready for taxi. Go to flight controls. That will be our next thing. Right here, we click that button, and on our lower ECAM page, you will see it come up. Now, why is this page so important? It is important for a safe takeoff. We'll go ahead and click performance here on our computer, and what we're looking for is this number. Okay, our flaps and trim settings. So 0.6 is what we want to put in our pitch trim settings right here. So we will turn this wheel right here until we get to 0.6. So 0.6 down is what we're looking for today. And 0.6 right here. And we can go ahead and do a flight control test. Okay, so on our side stick, we're gonna go full right, neutral, full left, down, elevators, neutral, up, and rudder to the right here, and rudder to our left. So we can see our hydraulics are working and our flight control surface is normal. Okay, now we can turn all that off, and we'll go back to the technical config just to confirm that we have configured fully for takeoff. We'll click this button, and on our upper ECAM, we will see we have to make sure that there is no blue. So auto brake max, seatbelt signs are on, cabin is ready, spoilers are armed, all flaps have been set for takeoff, and takeoff config is normal. And let's turn on our TARA system for traffic avoidance.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Looking good, and at this time I will just notify traffic that we are ready for taxi to 1 flight. Right, so that practically sums up our cold to dark to ready for taxi, and we are ready for taxi, but we will turn on our taxi lights. Now turn our lights right here as seen, and we will turn off our parking lights. Ready for give it a little power, and we're ready to go.